Hey guys, Crystal Daz and Hobbs here, bringing another weekly Brutal Mutation. Here's the score screen for the game that we just finished. I'm going to be loading up the replay for you in just a moment. So, this week we have one called Watch the Skies, which was originally called Death from Above, but they changed the name. We've got Aggressive Deployment, which spawns enemy units all across the map. We've got Missile Command, which shoots missiles and nukes at your base. And we've got Orbital Strike, which fires orbital strikes throughout the map. So, let's get into the replay screen, scroll to the top. We'll go ahead and load this up with our partner Hobbs here. Say hi, Hobbs.
Yeah, I'm here.
Howdy doodles. And let's get this party started. So, we chose the Dream Team combo here, Karax and Nova. Karax because he heals buildings, which basically completely negates the missile command except for the nukes that get launched later. Orbital strikes half the time will kill all of your cannons, half the time won't. We banked on it not doing it more than so it was fine. Aggressive deployment, they'll spawn enemy units on top of your army. I had a little bit of issues with that early game,
Thank
but
you for responding to
let's
our
let this
call.
guy do his
It
commentary.
seems Amon is using Kaldir's warp conduits to transport his troops across the sector. You won't be able to destroy the warp conduits, but you can destroy the shuttles. You must do so before they leave the planet.
Okay, so I'll talk about aggressive deployment for a moment. After about...
Amon has activated the central warp conduit. Be prepared to prevent the shuttles from escaping.
Chrono Boost online. Our structure should now operate at a greater efficiency.
So, aggressive deployment after about 5 minutes, enemies will start spawning on top of your army units. And in this case, we got the Zerg swarmy composition. So, you got to make sure that you have some army. And a little joke in there for us. And you got to take care of extra enemies. I'll let Hobbs tell you about Missile Command now.
Well, as you can see, right at the start of the game, you get missiles flying at your base. They don't hurt that much at the start, especially if your ally's Karax, because they'll just get healed of all the damage. But if you don't have a Karax ally, or you're not Karax yourself, you might need an SCV or two to repair the damage. Or if you're Zerg or Protoss, just suck it up.
Abathur.
Or Abathur.
Yeah.
But then later on, they'll start having larger missiles, and they'll also have point defense drones following them, so your missile turrets, photon cannons, spore colonies won't immediately kill them. They'll have to make the defense drone's energy run out before it will hit. And then later on, you'll hear a alarm sound, and that's when the nukes start launching towards your base. You can see them on the mini-map, it with a little mushroom cloud symbol. They move pretty slow, so you do have a pretty good chance of knocking them out before they come at your base. But sometimes, as you'll see later, they can spawn right over our expansion bases.
Yup.
The enemy has mobilized. We should move to intercept.
And the third mutation we have is Orbital Strikes, which can get pretty close to your main base, but not right in it, so you just got to be careful of those. I do lose some cannons to some orbitals later on, but it is what it is, so...
The enemy is Zerg. Prepare yourself.
One more thing about aggressive deployment is that it's heavily dependent on how hard it is heavily dependent on the unit composition you're facing. But for example, swarmy comp, in my opinion, is probably one of the worst to have aggressive deployment on, because as soon as the deployment spawns, their Vipers will immediately disable cloud anything in their way, which basically means your whole army will be disabled clouded, and then you'll get hit by banelings, and it's almost impossible to escape it. So, yeah, you gotta be on the ball.
Ever vigilant. So, we decided on a different strategy than normal here. Here's the Orbital Strike, for those of you who don't know. Each one of these does 50 damage plus 50 damage to armor. Depending on the layout of them, if enough of them can hit one structure, it can kill it, like my cannons do get a little bit wrecked, but they can also be spread out. Here's the aggressive deployment. We've got one right on Nova, one right in my base, so...
Hostile sighted inbound on our base.
So the strategy here was I was going to go around, instead of being in the middle of the map making cannons, I went around our base and made some cannons to take care of all the missiles give us vision, deal with aggressive deployment in our base, etc., etc. It really did help mitigate the damage. So, being as I can't be making cannons until I at least get the first shield upgrade, it was better for me to secure our bases, basically. So, it'll definitely help out a lot later to give vision to anti-nukes. So, love that laugh.
And since Daz is playing tower defense, I decided to do a mobile army, but I also decided to do something a little different than I usually do on this map. I usually have siege tanks with mines spamming the front doorways, but I decided not to do that this time. I just went full bio build this time.
We've located your main objective. You must destroy the shuttles headed for the central conduit.
So let's see here. What else is there to talk about with this? I think we pretty much covered all the basics of it.
Yeah, you'll just see a pretty easy start for now, but then later on, I think it's around the wave where it's the triple shuttle right in the middle. It starts getting a little hectic. I think that was the time where I kind of lost control of my camera for a second, and almost all my troops got nuked by an orbital strike right on top of your cannons.
Oh, man. So, for you Karax players, if you time your Purifier Beam right here, hold it at the ramp. As the first wave's coming, you can get the shuttle and the first wave. And look at them just run to their death. Beautiful.
Scans confirm the shuttle's destruction.
That's how you first wave Karax.
Successfully.
I thought it was a little overkill, but...
Hey, better than underkill. Oh man, your Nova's getting wrecked.
Not really, I planned for that.
Shrines. Our researchers will investigate, but they will need to be guarded.
The blink charges are your best friend.
Right, the invulnerability.
It's essentially 3 or 4 free defense drones that you don't have to spam out.
So, I'd say the most annoying thing about this is not the orbital strikes. I'd say it's the missiles. If you don't plan for them, like, have a commander that can heal buildings, you're gonna have a hard time, because they do damage, and you have to be on top of that.
A warp conduit is powering up.
I love that. Bailing's spawning right at my base.
And it is moving quite rapidly. Our response will have to be just as swift.
I wasn't paying attention there.
Looks like that research is done.
I am activating Chrono Boost now. That should greatly increase the output of our structures.
I'm setting up a pretty darn good defense at our base, though, so we've got cannons lining the whole perimeter.
Our base is under attack.
Enemies on the offensive. Prepare to defend.
Yeah. Should have more faith in my partner. Your shotgun always beats my solar lance.
So the thing about Nova is, if you go bio build and you're facing Zerg, Mass Ghost is a very viable option because your triple snipe ability completely destroys all Zerg units. It's just, if you get stuck in a disabling cloud by a Viper, it
hurts.
It really ruins your day. It's really annoying.
And Ghosts are actually viable to get on mass with Karax partner, because 15% extra speed for all of Nova's buildings really helps out. Look out behind you. Very nice. And I lose a couple probes here because I was derping around and I didn't make an army, and when you don't have an army, aggressive deployment hits your probe line. So, that was my bad. I have noticed that with the latest patch, the Zerg's getting better at spreading their creep tumors when you're facing Zerg AI.
This is also my first game of Starcraft 2, probably this whole week. Except for the mutation, because I've been playing Starcraft Remastered all week.
Ah. Well, tell our viewers about StarCraft Remastered while we're waiting.
We're detecting your main
Well,
objective, wave of shuttles
it's pretty
inbound
to
on
look
an
at,
active
but it's
conduit.
basically if you
It is
were a
attempting
fan
to
of the
escape.
old game,
You must
it's the
intercept
same
it.
game you knew and loved, but much nicer to look at. Like if you press the button that triggers the classic graphics and then the remastered graphics, you can very easily notice the difference.
A lot of oohs and ahs, right?
What was that?
I said a lot of oohs and ahs, right?
Chrono boost online. Our
I'd go
structure
beyond
should
that,
now
actually.
operate at greater efficiency.
Bringing a
Love
defensive
those
drone
disabling
online.
clouds.
I don't.
It's a joke.
Yeah, I know.
Man, those ghosts are just sexy against those hybrid.
It appears the enemy is advancing.
Plus, you
Prepare
can
for
also
nuclear
use the
combat.
spam EMP round on the shuttles themselves, take out half their
The
health right
objective
away.
has been halted.
So I made a desperate teleport run to that wave so it didn't hit his expansion too hard.
I much appreciate that. You got them nice and lined up for my solar lance.
Upgrade complete.
And now
Alright,
we
so
have
there's
the
the first that's the nuclear missile warning. So you'll see it there on the mini map, a little mushroom cloud toggle.
If you don't kill those, they don't have much life, but if you don't kill them, they will nuke you, and that will hurt. So Hobbs gets me vision, and I just double tap with my orbital, and it dies, so...
They appear to be launching more shuttles toward the warp conduits.
2 hits, and we're good to go. A little bit overkill on my part, but I had to make sure that it was dead, so...
And I run right into the path of aggressive deployment along the way.
Oh yeah. And now the nukes start coming with ever-increasing frequency, so...
We've got an enemy attack en route to our base. Seems like we could use a defensive drone.
Did we
Also,
manage
when-
to get all 3 of the bonuses? I think we did.
I was just about to mention that, and yes, we did. The bonuses do not get hurt by orbital strikes, because I saw about 20 of them hit a shuttle and it did nothing to it, so...
Very nice.
Our base is under attack.
Glad to see my efforts went ignored, Daz.
Thank you for
Yeah,
your
see
help.
right there, that shuttle would have been decimated by that if it did the damage.
The shuttles are no more.
Of course, I never miss.
Side note, shield batteries do protect against a second orbital. Not against a first, but they will protect against a second one. Like if you're getting hit with 2 orbital strikes in the same spot, your shield battery will activate after the first one hits. So, shield batteries do help.
Another wave of shuttles is headed for a warp conduit.
Don't worry.
Needless to say, I did go for the structure health mastery on this, because you'd be stupid not to. This is gonna hurt. Where is that nuke coming from? I don't see it. There it is. Man, you did go full bio here, didn't you?
I said I did.
Fair enough.
Time to play defense.
They nearly got wiped out along the last wave because of just really bad aggressive deployment spawns.
Alright, so we got a nuke coming for the base, and then the wave splits off to the right side instead of going for the
Yes,
middle. So.
I didn't notice it split, so I used one of my Nova nuke for nothing because I thought it would be running right at me. And I didn't look at the mini map, so
You have prevented
big waste on my
shuttle's
part.
escape.
It
Kill
happens.
confirmed.
Our base is under attack.
Yeah, so it's here.
Oh, this is where I
get
die.
hit completely by an orbital strike, but I saved basically all my troops though, just in the nick of time.
Yeah. That orbital hurt.
Yeah, it destroyed all your stuff, but my Griffin airlift saved my army in time.
It's a nice little trick there when you're about to die, just Griffin lift. And as you can see, I mainly decided to focus on the middle because I'd say 60% of the shuttles go to the middle base, so
Another
it's the
warp
best
conduit
one
has
to
been
defend.
activated. A wave of shuttles is headed toward it.
So there you'll see at the
Yeah.
bottom left corner a nuclear missile spawn really close to Daz's base. So
I didn't even see it
pinging the
until he
map.
told me
I was
about
pinging
it,
the
so
map to tell him it was there.
yeah,
Our research vessel is ready.
that would have
We're
been
moving out now.
disastrous. So, let's see, suggestions. Nova Karax, good combination for this map. I think another good combination would be Stukov Zagara. We're going to try that sometime. I think Zagara would be good out on the map, and Stukov could be a good defender versus the missiles.
Enemy combatants
Uh,
They're headed
I
our
think
way.
anybody with Karax is a good deal, though, so...
Boost activated. Our structure should
Karax
research
basically negates half the mutations here, so...
A defensive drone online.
Shuttles eliminated, commanders.
Confirmed. We've delivered a deft strike.
This aggressive deployment was throwing off my timings, too. Normally I only get the second solar upgrade, but I did get the third one for this map. I need that extra energy, because I went through it a lot quicker than normal.
Our allies are under attack.
Looks like Nova's doing just fine up here.
We've got an enemy attack en route to our base.
Now I start fortifying the other shuttle bays, because I've got a few extra minerals, so why not?
Shuttles are on course for all three conduits. We will have to split our forces to stop them all.
Allies are under attack.
So here I make a desperate attempt at killing this wave before just evacing the hell out before the Leviathan gets me.
Held the objective successfully.
Very nice.
But then I also drop into a pretty bad
Prepare
spot
to defend.
just to get disabling cloud right on an aggressive deployment. So basically got shit
this
on.
was, oh, look at this mess. Look at that mess. We had to use both of our ultimates to clear that. And then we just decided, screw it, let's focus on the shuttles, so... I ignore the enemies and I just blast through my energy on the shuttles now, so... Boom. And to the left we go. There we have it, folks. That is one of the ways to beat this mutation, so...
A well-deserved victory. Shuttles
So, closing thoughts, I think Karax is really good, especially if you have a Terran or a Protoss ally. I think Zerg is only really viable if you have an Abathur ally, because his mend can heal all of your buildings. I do not recommend Zerg without an Abathur ally unless you're very, very good at Queen Transfuses and know how to use those and can micro fast enough to protect all of your buildings, because...
So you're basically saying that Stukov Zagara is a bad idea?
Well... Anyway, I think
Yeah,
Karax.
okay.
I think Karax is a good idea, and I think Honestly, that's really all I have to say. The Karax is a good idea. He'll heal all your stuff. He can blast nukes out of the sky. His cannons can half the time survive everything out on the map. Just have another mobile commander out there clearing all the waves. You're good to go. So, closing thoughts, Hobbs?
Uh, basically that. You can also, if you really want to, although this is probably more risky, is have like two tower defense commanders playing together, like Karax Stukov, just massive bunker, massive cannon, or Swan Karax or Swan Stukov, whatever you want, and just tower defense. It's more risky because more likely than not, your stuff's gonna get nuked by um, the orbital strikes.
I guess
So a mobile army is a better idea.
Yep. I guess Swan's laser could hit the nukes, but
Swan's laser is a good way to take out nukes. That's what
yeah.
I have used in the past.
So, anyway, there you have it, folks. Hope you all enjoyed this. If you guys want, we can upload another video with some Zerg commanders and show you us failing hardcore. So, I'll see y'all next week. Take care.